I would invite you, but I don't allow fatties in my house.
I'm not a performing monkey.
I am not a performing monkey.
But we just come across as like one of the boys, you know? Because
Yeah.
boys rip on each other.
Yeah.
So some people take it really well when we rip on each other, and some people think
like the guy who did not take it well that you call me Fat Rosie.
Yes. Yeah.
He decided to bite his teeth into it, to scratch it off, because he didn't want me to be called Fat Rosie.
Which is sad.
Which is sad, because really I love it.
Yeah.
And it's like my
It's your
favorite
favorite water bottle.
It is my favorite water. And I love being called Fat Rosie. Like, it's hilarious. I think it's so
your
funny.
brand.
It is.
People are like, she is not fat. And I'm like, she is for a skimpy doll.
Yeah, and that's, I think...
And then some people go, yeah. And then some people are like, no, don't call
I think
her
that's
fat.
why people... Yeah, when you say for a skimpy, I am plus size for a skimpy. And I'm plus size for like high fashion models. Like, it's what your concept of plus size or fat is.
Yeah.
I do fit into that category. And if that's what I want to go by.
And you get sad when you lose weight.
And I make more money when I'm bigger.
Yeah.
Big girls, you are beautiful, as they were chanting.
Yes.
Big shout out to that daddy who was like, fuck those skinny bitches. And I was like, yeah.
And like people can see that and the effort, and like you're so glamorous.
Yeah, I think
and
that's...
people do, times are changing.
Oh,
people
they
do
definitely
love
are.
the thick gals.
They really do love it. Honestly, yeah, when you finally do get your like foot through the door and you're there and they haven't seen a thick skimpy, they fucking go crazy for it because they haven't seen big fat ass and big fat titties.
Yeah.
But it is having something for everyone. Like, you can't have a whole month of skimpies who are curvy. Same way you can't have a whole month.
If we all look the same, it would be boring.
It would be boring. Like, that's a whole... I remember when first started, they were like, Fresh Meat Mondays, because they get the new skimpy. And it's so true. Like, you do want to see a variety of girls. But it's just having thick skin and knowing, even if you're skinny or fat.
Oh, you need
you need thick skin.
Yeah.
You're going to need, like, you think...
Yeah.
Like, the agency's being mean? No, you need to be prepared.
And that's the other thing with like ripping on each other. It's like if we rip on ourselves first, you can't get us, you know?
Yeah. Not even, like, I just think, like, when we went around saying $100 to make us cry, like, it's just, you just have to have thick skin. Like, I feel like I feel like there's a couple of, like, obviously I've had thousands of mean comments over the years, but I do remember the one that was like brutal. That blind drunk guy was like asking the other girls to work his private, and then he just looks me dead in the eye, being 100% serious. I would invite you, but I don't allow fatties in my house. And I was just like, the audacity of this really overweight old man.
I know.
Telling me he's not allowed fatties in his house. And I was like, okay, I just don't know if that was quite necessary. Could have just said, hey, the budget's done, we don't need you.
Yeah.
But to look me dead in the eye. And it was like wild. But
They're the ones that like, they hate themselves.
Yeah.
Because nobody that's like okay within themselves would say that.
Yeah, nah.
I had it a few weeks ago in Karata. A guy like, I was doing something over this end of the bar and he like calls me. So I leave what I'm doing, walk over, and he's like, the other girl looks better than you. And I was like, all right. And you needed to call me over to tell me that, did you? And he's like, I'm just saying it how it is. And I was like, well, that is rich coming from you sitting there with your gut hanging out at the pub.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why call me away from what I'm doing to tell me that? But you do really need a thick skin.
Oh, and it's just crazy. Like, like I've been summoned over because the guy's been waving money and you've gone over to get in. He's just gone like, what are you going to do for it? And just kind of like...
I'm not a performing monkey.
I am not a performing monkey. Like,
actually, we are performing monkeys when nobody's telling us to perform.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're always on. We're always, like, pretty happy. We're always, like, doing tricks or playing around at the bar. But if someone's, like,
waving money,
what are you going to do for this? I ain't going to do shit.
And don't get me over to tip me and then not tip me.
Yeah.
But, like, and expect, like... Yeah, it is so wild. Like... the different aspects of it, like I can't even imagine. I remember thinking like it would just be like strip clubs and like all the things you see in the movies, and then skimpying is just
it's
this
so
whole
different.
world.
They're two different worlds. You can't even compare them.
Yeah, like it is completely different. Like you are an entertainer, but you are still so very much a bartender at the same time. So bartending comes first, whilst being cheeky and fun, whilst also being an entertainer, whilst also spending 2 hours to get ready to then pour pints. Like it's this,
and then trying not to spill the pints on your $500 lingerie. Yeah,
literally, you're like knocking your fucking beautiful honey bidet against the bar fridges.
Yeah.
Like, and then you've got someone being like, "What can you do for me? $10?" And you're like,
"Fuck all."